Learn folks, let's continue. We are working with this keyword, right? Static keyword. And in this we discussed about static is a non-access modifier. And we can create static variables, static methods, and static blocks. Variables are three types: instance variables, static variables, and local variables. If you declare any variable as a static variable, then the memory will be allocated separately inside the heap area, and all objects of the class will share the single variable. This is called static variable. Instance variable means what happens for each object, separate memory will be allocated. But static variable, memory is allocated for only once. And for all objects, that single variable will be used. This is called shared variable. So if you want to create any shared variable or shared data, then you have to create which type of variable? Static variable. Yesterday, even I told you, static variable can be accessed with the class name also. Online folks, maybe in the last class, you got to know about why this is an error and why it is 100. Because as per our example, x is which variable? Instance variable. For instance variable, we can access the instance variable only with the object name. But if it is a static variable, then two ways are there. What are the two ways of accessing the static variables? We can access the static variable with the class name, and we can also access the static variable with the object name. Okay, we can also access with the object name. Two ways are there. Are the two ways? With the class name and also with the object name. If you look at this SOP statement, C1 dot y. Y is which variable? Y is a static variable. C1 dot y. What is the value of C1 dot y? 100. C1 is what? Object. C2 is what? Object. So we are accessing this static variable with the object name. But here, the last statement, we are accessing this variable y with the class name. Means what? Y is a static variable. So static variable can be accessed with what name and what name? We can access with the class name, and also we can access with the object name also. Okay, na? Okay. Cool, cool. And we discussed yesterday, if you take methods, M1 is which method? M1 is called instance method. The M1 is called which method? Instance method, right? It is instance method. M2 is which method? Static method. M2 is a static method. M1 is instance method. What's the statement here? Instance methods will allow instance variables and static variables of the class. So x is which variable here? Instance variable. And y is what? Static variable. M1 is which method here? Instance method. Instance method allows instance variable and static variable also. But static method will only allow static variables of the class. Who is the static variable here? Y. Y equal to 190. This is allowed. But x is equal to 170. This will give error. Why this is an error? Because x is a instance variable. Y is a static variable. M2 is a static method. Static method will only allow what? Static variables and doesn't allow the instance variables. And that's why we got the error. Yesterday we discussed up to this point. Okay, today we are going to continue. How to call instance method? How can we call an instance method?
Through the object.
Through the object. Yeah. M1 is a method. Can you tell me how to call M1?
Creating object.
Yeah, so object
First,
object name
suppose,
and dot M1.
yeah. For example, first what I will do is I will write the class main. Okay, public class main. Just observe it. Okay, public class main. I'm continuing this code. Okay,
Yes.
public class main. Inside the main, I have a main method, na? So public static void main. Then we have something called as string args. Tell me first of all, how do we create an object for class A? Now, I want to create an object for class A. Could you tell me how to create object? Class A.
B. Class A space object name
Space object name, very good. C1
New.
equals to new
equal to
new class A.
class
Class
A. Okay, so if you forget the syntax, I can't do anything because these are basic subject you have to learn. At least basic knowledge also required. Na? You should know about how to create an object, right? Class name, space object name equal to new, then class name with a parenthesis. This is a syntax of creating an object. Okay, if you don't know about how to create an object, for example, if you forget this syntax, then you are unfit for Java because without creating an object, we can't do anything. If you want to do something, then you must create an object. So class name, object name equal to new, class name with a parenthesis. This a class name with a parenthesis is called constructor. This is called constructor. You are calling the constructor. You are calling the constructor. But this is a syntax. Class name, space object name equal to new, space, class name, parenthesis. This is a syntax of creating an object. Observe here. If I write, look at this. Everybody. C1 dot M1. Could you tell me what is C1, what is M1? C1 is the object name. M1 is the
method.
instance method. M1 is the instance method. Yeah, instance method. Instance method. Now this is allowed. We can call the method like this only, na? If you want to call a method, you are going to call the method with object name only. Okay. Object name is also called as a reference variable. Who is the reference variable? Who is the reference variable here? C1. Reference variable is also called what name? Object name. So who is the reference variable? C1. C1 dot M1. This is correct. This is correct. This is valid. This is the way how we can call the method. Otherwise, you can't write any programs also. Okay, next. Try to understand now. Class A dot M1. Class A dot M1. Look at this, guys. This is error. Now I'll explain why it is error. Why it is error? M1. M1 is a which method? Instance method. Instance method cannot be called directly with the class name. Instance method you cannot directly call with the class name. That is error. Only which method we can call with the class name?
Difference with static method.
Static method. So I will write like this now. C1 dot M2. C1 dot M2. Who is a C1 and who is M2? C1 is what? Object name. M2 is what? Static method. Static method can be called with object name also. It is valid. Next. Class A dot M2. It is also valid. Valid. Because M2 is which method? Static method.
Static method.
So in how many ways a static method can be called? In two ways we can call. One is with reference variable. One is with reference variable. Reference variable is nothing but object name only. Okay, sometimes I use the word reference variable. One is we can call with reference variable, and second one we can also call with class name. But what about instance method? We can only call with the reference variable, but we cannot directly call with the class name. Yes, the point I want right here.
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah.
What are the main reason why are not calling from directly for static? For instance, main difference.
No, I didn't get you. If you come again, then I will tell you answer.
Yeah, main difference. What are the two way which we call the static method
Yeah,
through
I'll tell you.
class or through
I got it.
object reference,
Got it.
but
Got it. I'll tell you.
why are not
Wait,
okay?
wait. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Wait, I got your question, but wait.
Okay.
Yeah, first let me write the point here, okay? What's the point I want to include? Instance methods. Instance methods can be called. Instance methods can be called with what name only?
Object name only.
Yes, instance methods can be called with object name only. Static methods can be called with
Class name and object name.
yes, can be called with object name and class name also. Object name can be called with object name or class name. Can be called with object name or class name. Two options are there. Instance methods can be called with object name only, but static methods can be called with class name or object name. Two options are there, both are valid. That's why I gave here it is valid, but this is an error. Okay, let's continue further. See here, guys. Now, there is, I would like to explain about when do we create a static method. So finally, in a class, we can create, what and what type of methods? In a class, we can create what and what type of methods?
Static and instance.
We can able to create the static
Static
methods, and
and
also we
instance
can able to
methods.
create the instance
Instance.
methods. Instance methods. But now we have to understand. So when we will create the instance methods and when we will create the static methods. Okay, right? When we will suppose, first of all, what is the use of a method? What is the use of a method?
We can write inside the statement.
What is the use of a method? Suppose I'm directly asking a question.
Well-defined task.
Very good. Very good. I told this point already, right? Okay. A method is used to perform a well-defined task. Like I told, operator also can perform a well-defined task only. Okay, right? Method is used to perform a well-defined task. Okay, why do we create methods? To perform a well-defined task. Whether it is a static method or whether it is a instance method. Both are methods only, na? Both are methods only. Obviously, what? We create the methods to perform a well-defined task. Is it clear so far? Method point is very clear for you. Now, the question comes here. Question is, when we create static methods and instance methods. When we create static methods and when we create instance methods. I'll give answer for this. So this point, but you people must know. I will explain this point. Actually, I think one of you guys asked about this question only. I think so, right? Yeah. Let's go ahead. Right. So we understand about, first of all, method is to perform what?
Well-defined task.
Yes, a method is to perform a well-defined task. Everybody, just try to understand the point here. Okay, look at the point. I will talk about this. See, if I would like to say something like this. Yeah, I'll give an example so that you people can understand. Assume that okay. Yes. Say for example, I'll tell you. Which example can suit you? I'm just thinking on that, which should be looking like a real-time example, and you also should get the concept in that. That's why I'm thinking on some example which helps you to get clarity on this. That's what I'm thinking on. Just give me a second. I will think a good example for you to see when do we create static methods and when do we create instance methods. Mm. Okay. Yeah, okay. First, I'll talk about example which we already know. Then I'll talk about an example like a new one. We all know about string class, right? Everyone and online. Can you confirm once? Do you know the string class?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
We
sir.
all know the string class.
Yeah,
String
yes.
class, you know?
Yes,
Yes?
sir.
Very good. Please try to get the concept clearly. I will explain about the concept like static method and instance method. Okay. See here, we know string class now, so we are creating a string str is equal to something like hello. Okay. Could you tell me how can I convert this string into uppercase? Str dot
Yeah.
to uppercase.
Upper.
Very good. Tell me two uppercase is a static method or instance method?
Instance.
Two uppercase is a static method or instance method?
Instance.
It is an instance method. What is the purpose? What is the task here? It should convert the value in the object in uppercase. Uppercase. Look at this. There is one more variable called str to another object. Okay, is equal to something like hi. Then I'm writing str2 is equal to str2 dot to uppercase. I have a question to all of you guys. Please understand. I have a question to all of you. Tell me this two uppercase method should perform a task, right? What's the task?
Convert to uppercase.
It should convert the value in the string object in uppercase. Means this method should perform the task. This method should perform the task based on the value that is available in the object. This method should perform the task based on the value in object. Yes. If this object has a value called hello, then tell me it should convert into what? Uppercase. But this object is containing what? Hi.
Hi.
Then tell me this two uppercase method should perform a task on the value in this object str2.
Yes.
Which means what? If any method has to perform a task on the value which is available in the object. On the value which is available in the object. On the value or values, whatever it is. On the values available in the object. If a method has to perform a task on the values available in the object, then we have to create which method? Instance method. We have to create which method, guys? Instance method. Instance method. I will tell you. Instance method. Everybody, are you able to get my point clearly? I'll give another example, but first try to understand this example. Whenever, if a method has to perform a task on the value available in the object, then I should create a
Instance method.
instance method.
Instance method.
I should create an instance method. Coming to static method. Do you know in string class only, there is a method called string dot value of method is there. Do you know what is the purpose of string dot value of method? It is to convert a value. It is convert a value, given value, from any other data type to the string type. For example, if I am passing string dot value of 123, actually who is 123? Integer value.
Integer.
But I want to convert this 123 into which type? String type.
String type.
Are you getting my point? I have a question here. Tell me here, the value of is also a method. Every method has to perform a well-defined task.
Yes.
But question is here, this value of method, I repeat once again, this value of method is performing a task on the value available in the object or on the given value of parameter?
Parameter.
On the parameter value, but not the value available in object. So it's a very minute difference, but it's very important to know. Simple thing. Value of is a method. Tell me, value of method is performing the task. What this method will do? First of all, what's the task? Converts a given
Integer.
value into, converts a given value into what?
String.
String type. Value of method will convert the given value into what type? String type. That is the concept. Nothing is there in that. My question to you, this value of method is working on, this value of method is performing the task on the value in object, or it is performing the task on the parameter value?
Parameter value.
Parameter value.
On
What's the
the
parameter
parameter.
value here? 123. Convert it
120.
into
1, 2, 3.
string type.
String.
Suppose if I write. Suppose if I write. Try to please understand for one more time. Just value of, everybody, value of 24.67. Tell me this time also what value of method it will do?
Perform
Value
on
of-
the parameter.
Actually, this method, value of method, tell me this value of method is, what is the task of value of method? What is the task it will do? It will convert
Converting
the
the parameter.
given parameter value to the string type.
Yes.
Could you tell me now what's the parameter value here? Double.
24.
Double. In the first case, it is
Integer.
integer. Tell me value of method is performing the task on the values of the object, or is performing the task on the parameter value?
Parameter
Parameter
value.
value.
Parameter value. Now that's why, understand, that's why this value of method is given as what? Static method. Because see, I'm calling the
Static
value of method with which name?
String.
String.
Who is string? Who is string? String is an object or string is class?
String is
Class.
Class.
Class. Class. When can you call a method with class name?
If it is a static.
Very
we
good.
can,
Excellent.
we can directly access.
When can we call a method with the class name? If that
Stat-
method is a
If it is a static.
Static
method.
static method. Tell me, if it is a static method, we can call with class name,
Class
and
name.
also we can call with object
Class
name.
name.
Two options.
Object.
options. Both
Yes.
ways are possible. If it is instance method, we can only call with the
Only by object name.
object name, but we
Object.
cannot call with the class name. Okay. See here, guys.
class name.
If I write string dot to uppercase, if I write like this, I will get error. Why? Because to uppercase is a instance method.
Instance method.
Instance method cannot be called with
Class name.
class name.
Class name.
You can only call with the
Object name.
object name. What is str?
Object name.
Object.
Object name.
Object.
So this is correct, but this is wrong.
Yes.
Am I clear?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, sir.
What about value of method?
Integer.
We
It's
can
a
call with
static
the
method.
class name also, because it is a
Static.
static method.
Static method.
Static method. Guys, could you tell me when to create instance method and when to create static method is our question, na?
Yeah.
Tell me
Yes,
when to
sir.
create instance method.
We can
If you
access.
want to change the value
No.
on the object, then we can use the instance
If
method.
suppose a method has to perform the task on the values of object, then
Object.
what?
Instance method.
Instance method
Create
is created.
instance method.
Instance method.
If a method has to perform the task based on the parameter values, then
Parameters means static
Static.
method.
then static,
Static method.
then static. Did you get my point? Everybody
Yes, sir.
getting this point?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Good. Good. Try to, identify the concept of static method and instance method. I'll take one more example. This is string example because string we know. String we know. That's why I took the string example first. Please try to get the point. Yes, everybody. I'm writing one class. Let's say, for example, I'm writing one class. Let me think on the class name now. Okay. I'm sorry. Please try to understand me now. I'm writing one class called employee. Inside the employee, everybody. There is, please understand. I would like to see here. Please try to get the concept here. I'm inside the class. I'm creating one method. What the method is? Void deduct food fee. Please understand. Deduct food fee. Everybody try to understand. Deduct food fee. Okay. Please try to get the concept here. Deduct food fee. And I would like to make some logic here. Okay. One more method I'm writing. Void calculate salary. There are two methods are there with you. Could you identify which method I can make it? I can make a static method, and which method is instance method? Identify the concept now.
Food fee is an instant.
Okay. You try to get the concept now. Employee has various data. Employee has a number, name, his salary, his experience, or something is there, right? His loan details are also there. Okay.
Yes.
And try to get the concept now. If you look at the two methods, tell me calculating salary should be based on the data in the employee object. Based on the data in the employee object. Everybody is getting this point?
Yes.
Yes. Please try to get the concept. Am I clear with you? Yes. I have a question to you now. So in the employee object, that employee has a salary, right? And that employee has some experience. That employee has some loans. Am I right? Now tell me calculating salary should be based on the data in the employee. The data in the employee object. Am I clear with you? First employee is there, second employee is there. Tell me for the first employee, for second employee, do you find same number of loans? No. One
No.
employee may have the loan, other employee may not have the loan.
Doesn't.
Did you get the concept? Then tell me now, calculating salary is based on, this method should
Object.
perform the task based on the data in the employee. Data in the employee object, am I right? Then tell me, I should make this method as which method? Instance method.
Instance method.
Instance method. What about the food fee? Deduct food fee.
Static.
It doesn't matter whether you have how much salary. It doesn't matter how many loans you have. It doesn't matter, right? For every employee, standard food fee will be deducted. Food fee is standardly deducted, na?
Yes.
If you are an employee of the company, okay, company is also offering food, which means it is deducting the food fee from your salary. Did you get my point? Then tell me, food fee is based on salary of the employer, commonly for all employees. Commonly for all
Commonly.
employees. So if that is a common functionality for all objects of the class, then you have to declare that method as what? Static method.
Static.
Static method.
It means
If you want to
fixed value.
define common functionality for what? For
All-
all objects of the class, then static. If a
Instant.
functionality should be executed different for each object, then instance method.
Instance.
That is the concept. So let me write these points. When do we create static methods and when do we create instance methods? Answer, if we want to,
Fix the value
okay,
for
if you
all.
want to perform a task or anything, okay, if you want to perform, or if a method has to perform better. If a method has to perform a task, okay, based on better, perform a task based on what? The data or values in the object. Am I right or not?
Mm.
Based on values in that object. Then you create what? Yes, then you create
Instance.
an instance method. Next, what? If a method has to perform, if a method has to perform a task in the common way for,
Every object.
yes, in the common way for all the objects, then you have to create a
Static method.
static method. Am I clear with this point? You have to create a static method because tell me, deducting food is a common way. That is called which
Yes.
method? Static method.
Static.
Static method. Okay, right? But what about calculating salary? Calculating salary,
Instance.
calculating bonus.
Best
Suppose I have a
and
method called calculate bonus. Tell me, bonus calculation will be different from one employee to
another
other
employee.
employee. Means what? That method has to perform the task.
Based
That
on
method has
the
to perform the task based on
Based
the
on the data.
employee.
data in the employee. That is called instance method. Instance method. Very good. So this is the answer for this question. If a method has to perform a task in the common way for all objects, then you have to create a method as what? Static method. So I will go ahead to discuss next concept. One more thing. Okay. Now try to understand, guys. I'll tell you. Okay. Please try to get the concept. Okay. I will tell you. I'll try to explain. Please go ahead with other things. Next case. Next. In static, there are things like what? Static variable, static method, and also static blocks. You know, this is static variable. This is called static method. This is called static block. Tell me, in Java, we can create what and what and what? Static variables we can create. Next. Static methods we can create. Then what? Static blocks also we can create. Yeah. I will tell you. Okay. So I will explain, guys. Please understand. Now we are talking about static block. We are talking about static block. Let me. Yeah. Please try to get the concept here, guys. Static block I'm trying to explain. See here. In a class we can create instance variables and also static variables, na?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yes.
Yes. I have a question to you. Can we initialize the static variable? I repeat.
Yes.
Can we initialize the static variable in constructor?
No.
Okay. May I know how can you say the answer as no? I mean, on what basis you are telling answer as no? Suppose I have a class, observe a simple class A. Int x, static int y. Could you tell me how many variables are there?
Two.
Two variables are there. X is a instance variable. Y is a static variable. Tell me how to write a constructor.
Class name A.
Class name.
What is the class name?
Class name A.
Class A.
Class A,
Parenthesis.
parenthesis. This is called constructor. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
Because always what name and what name should be same.
Class name and
Class name and the
the
constructor name should be
constructor name.
class
Same.
name and constructor name should be same. So both are same now.
Yes.
Open close parenthesis.
Yes.
Okay. Now I am writing. I'm writing x is equal to 50. X is equal to 50 and y is equal to 60.
No, we can't write like this, sir.
First, I want to ask a question.
Hmm.
X is which variable?
Instance variable.
Instance variable. Y is which variable? Is that instance variable or static variable?
Static variable.
Understand, guys. In constructor, we can initialize instance variable and also we can initialize static variable. Both are correct.
Yes.
We don't have an error in this line.
Hmm.
There is no error. We can initialize what? Instance variables and also we can initialize what? Static
Static
variables.
variables.
So there is no error
Error.
here. Error here. Please understand me now. Please try to get the concept here. Okay. Please try to understand the concept. Everybody try to get the concept. Listen here, guys. I write int parameters. Int
XY.
x. Only x. This dot x is equal to x. Could you tell me x is a instance variable?
Yeah.
Y is a
Static.
static variable. Static variable. Tell me, if a variable is a static variable, how many times memory is allocated for that?
One time.
One time.
Only one.
Only once. Because we know already static variable memory is allocated for once.
Most.
Okay. For instance variable, the memory is allocated for each object.
Yes.
Yes. Tell me, please understand. Tell me, how many times I have to initialize a static variable? How many times is
One.
enough? Enough.
One time.
One time is enough.
Yeah.
One time is enough, na?
Yeah.
Very good. Tell me what the value I want to initialize with the variable y?
60.
60. 60. Tell me, I should initialize a static variable with value 60 for every object of the class or just one time is enough?
One time.
One time is
One
enough.
time.
If you initialize the variable, static variable for one time, it is common for all the objects.
Other.
Okay, very good. I have a question to you. I mean, almost we got the answer. Now this is main class main. Public static void main. You'll understand about static block, okay? I will explain about what is static block. Tell me first of all, how to create object for class A? Class A, C1 is equal to
C1.
new class A of parenthesis. Am I clear?
Yeah.
Tell me whenever I am creating an object, it is going to call the constructor.
Yes.
But you see the constructor as one parameter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Then
Yeah.
tell me I should pass one value here.
Yes.
Yes. I am passing the value as 90. 90. Please try to understand now. I will explain. Tell me in the heap memory one object is created.
Yes.
In the heap memory, one object is created now.
Yes.
What's the name of this object?
Of class
One.
CA.
C1. Object name is C1. Tell me inside the object there is a memory allocated for the variable X.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody? What about variable Y?
Outside the object.
Very good.
Outside
Outside the
the-
object. Outside the object. In heap memory only, but outside. Why? Tell me what the value I'm passing here. 90. This 90 will be stored in
90.
X. This 90 will
Yes.
come to this X variable. Then tell me
Yes.
from this X local variable, the value is assigned to the instance variable X.
Hmm.
Then tell me what the
Yes.
value in this X now.
90.
90. X value 90. Could you tell me what the value of Y initialized here?
60.
60. First object is okay.
Hmm.
Let's say, for
Mhm.
example, I'm creating second object. class A, C2 is equal to what? New class A of 30. Tell me, I'm creating one more object called C2.
Yes.
Then one more object is created here called C2.
Yes.
In the heap memory, there is one more object created with the name C2.
Hmm.
These are name of the object is C2. Yes. Tell me, inside this, there is a memory allocated for the variable X.
Yes.
Because X is which variable?
Instance.
Instance variable. Did you get this point so far?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell me how much value I'm passing?
30.
30. Then tell me this 30 is assigned to this instance variable 30. Sorry, X.
Yes.
Could you tell me what's the
Yes.
value of X now?
30.
30. Tell me after initializing X, next Y is equal to how much?
60.
60.
Same 60.
What happens now? It will
It will
remove the
create
previous
a-
value. Again, it will initialize with 60 only. Are you getting my point? What's the
Why
problem
are-
here?
Why
I mean,
are
what is the drawback here?
Same value initializing again.
If you initialize the static variable in constructor, then the static variable is initializing for every object, na?
Yes.
See, for the first object, how much value initialized for Y?
60.
For second object also, how much will be again initialized?
60.
60. If a C3 is one more object, then again 60. If a C4, again 60. Means what's the drawback of initializing? What is the drawback of initializing a static variable in the constructor?
Memory will be used.
Static variable will get the memory for one time only. You won't get a 2-3 times memory, na? How many times memory allocated for a static variable?
One
One.
time.
One time. Only one time. That variable, static variable memory is created outside the object for one time. One time is important word, one time. Static variable gets memory for once. Tell me what's the drawback here? Every time, whenever we create a new object of the class, again the static variable is initialized. Means what? For every object, the static variable is reinitializing. Reinitializing with the same value. We got a drawback now.
Yes.
That's why in Java, another option given. That option is called what block? Static block. That's called what block? Static block. Tell me what's the purpose of static block now? Static block we can use for initializing
Static variable.
static variables. Okay, I told we can initialize static variables in constructor also. A static variable we can initialize in constructor also. In constructor also we can initialize the static variable. But the drawback is what?
Many time will be initialized for
For every object of the class, the static variable is again reinitializing. Again reinitialized with the same data. With the same data or same value. That is the drawback. Did you get my point online, folks? Very simple concept.
Yes, sir.
That's why which block is
Yes,
given?
sir.
static block.
Static block. For what purpose?
For
Yes,
static
that-
value will be
To
initialized.
initialize the,
Static variable.
very good, to initialize the
Static variable.
static variables. Did you get my point? Understand again. Static block will be executed for once only. Static block will be executed for once. Not like constructor. I'll tell you how to write static block. Guys, could you tell me constructor, how many times it will execute?
One time.
Constructor, boss. I'm asking about constructor. One time.
One
No,
time.
no, no.
Constructor will be executed for every object.
Every object. Yeah, depend
For
on the
every-
object.
Suppose you are creating 10 objects of your class.
10
Then
times.
constructor will execute 10 times.
10 times.
Constructor is executed for
10 times.
constructor is executed for every object.
Ob-
Don't confuse with the subject. Constructor is executed for Every
Every
object. If you are creating 5 objects, then
5 times,
5 times constructor is executed. If you create 100 objects,
100 times.
100 times executed for every object. Did you get my point?
Yes.
But a static block is not like that. Static
one
block
time.
is executed for only once.
One time.
Only
One time.
once. One time. Please try to get the differentiation. I will write the points, but first, before writing the points, if you understand, then I can write the points. Otherwise, it's a waste of writing the points.
Yes.
First, I would like to make you to understand it first. Okay. Could you tell me, can we initialize static variable in constructor?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes. Correct. But drawback,
it will reinitialize the same value.
for
We will
every
do that.
object,
For every object.
for every object, the static variable is initialized again and again. Again and again is called reinitialization. That's why we got what?
Static,
Static.
Drawback.
Static,
And static block is specially for what to initialize?
static variable.
static variables.
My question to you, can I initialize instance variables in the static block?
No.
No,
Can I initialize instance variables in the static block?
no,
No.
no.
Answer is no. Because static block is only for initializing.
Static variable.
Static variable, that's it.
member.
If you have instance variables, you can initialize in constructor. You can initialize them in constructor. In constructor, you can initialize what? Instance variables. In static block,
Only
only you can initialize
static
static
variable.
variables. Did you get the difference now?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Could you tell me now what's the difference
sir.
between constructor and static block?
Constructor.
Could you tell me?
Constructor for instance variables.
Could you tell me what is the difference between static block
Static.
and constructor?
Static block we can initial
Hmm.
we can use only static
No.
variables and static.
Constructor.
What's the
main dif-
difference between static block and constructor?
It means main difference. How many time will be object we can create it, then
Static
that time
block.
will be called, and a static block only one time
Ah.
will be called.
Yes. If you see, guys, try to understand now. If it is a static block, it will only allow
One time.
static variables. Static variables only.
Yeah.
You can initialize in the static block. But in constructor, we can
Instance
initialize instance variables and also we
And
can initialize
Static
static
variable.
variables. But there is a drawback. What's the drawback?
Drawback is a static
every
variable.
object,
Object is initialized.
The static variable will be
Mm.
reinitialized again and again. That's why we are
Yes.
using static block. One more.
Static block.
Constructor is executed for
Depend on the
constructor is executed for
Every object.
every object. Very good.
How many times create the object?
Every object. Every object means
Yes.
you create 10 objects, you create 20 objects, you create 30 objects, 30 times, 20 times, like that for every object. But what about static block?
one time.
It will execute only for once. Only once. Okay. Next, one more thing I have to explain. Then I will write all the points one by one. First, remember this, guys. When the memory is allocated for this variable x,
When we create the object,
x is which variable?
X is instance
Instance
variable.
variable. For the instance variable, this is x na?
Yeah.
Tell me this instance variable will get the memory whenever this object is created. Am I right or not?
Yeah.
Whenever
Yes.
this object, see the circle. I'm highlighting the circle here. Please try to understand me, right? Otherwise, I'll highlight. Guys, you see I'm highlighting. This is called what? Object. This x is called what? X is which variable?
Instance variable.
Instance variable. Am I clear with this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Tell me
sir.
Tell me when the instance variable will get the memory.
We can
An
call
object
the
is
constructor.
When the object
Now
is
executing slashed.
when the object is created, then inside the object, this instance variable will get the memory. Am I right or not?
Yes.
This is very clear
Yes,
statement.
sir.
There is nothing complexity in learning Java. You don't feel it as complex. Okay, right? Okay. This is object. whenever the object is created, this memory is created. Am I right or not? X is which
Yeah.
variable?
Instance,
Instance variable.
Instance
But Y is which
variable.
variable?
static variable.
Static variable.
That's why. Question. For static variable, the memory is created inside the object or outside the object?
Outside the object.
Outside the
Outside the
object, na?
object.
So this memory is created. This memory is created whenever this class is loaded into the JVM. Whenever this class, every class will be loaded into JVM, then only object can be created.
Yeah.
Okay, then only the object can be created.
Created.
So whenever the class is loaded into the JVM, this class will be loaded into what? Java
Loaded.
Virtual Machine.
Nothing.
JVM, that's what we are calling now. So whenever the class is loaded into the JVM, immediately for this variable Y, the memory is created.
Created.
But what about X?
When we created the object.
Immediately memory is not created. When
When
X
we-
will get the memory?
When we create
Whenever the object is
created.
created. My question to you now, when the memory is created for instance variable and when the memory is created for static variable?
Yes.
Static
When we
variable.
create the object, then
Ah.
instance variable will get memory.
Whenever
and
the class is loaded, immediately
Static
static
variable.
variable
variable.
it got memory.
Memory will be
static
created.
variable memory is created. Static
When-
variable memory is created.
When will be class will
But-
be loaded?
But instance variable memory is created whenever
Object.
object is created. You got the difference now?
Yes,
Tell me
sir.
which
Yes.
variable will get first memory?
First
Static.
memory
Static
is
variable will
static.
get the first.
Static variable.
Static variable will first get the memory. Later,
Instance
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 variable
variable.
also will get the memory whenever the object is created.
created.
Suppose if object is not created,
There is no memory was created.
then
for
there is no memory
static.
created or allocated for the instance variable.
Instance
Only
variable.
memory will be created for the
The
static
static.
variable,
Static
but not for the instance variable.
Instance variable.
Did you get all these points?
Yes, sir. Sir,
Yes, sir.
sir, I have one question. So when will be class will be loaded?
Uh-huh. When?
Yeah.
From where our program execution starts?
For writing through
From
the
main
class
method.
main
From
method.
from where our Java program execution starts? Is a
Main
straightforward
method.
question.
Main
That
method.
is answer, main method.
Yeah.
Every Java program execution starts from
Main method.
main
Main
method.
method.
Very good. In main method, are you creating object?
No.
This is
Yes.
main method.
Yeah. Yeah.
In this main method, are you creating an object for class A?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes. Tell me, to create an object for class A, first of all, class A must be loaded into the JVM.
JVM.
Yes.
Able to get my point?
Yes.
Yes. Did you got the point, like when the class is loaded into JVM now?
Yeah.
Okay. Whenever you are trying to create what?
Object
Object for a
Object.
class, at that time class will be first
loaded.
Create.
loaded into
Loaded.
the JVM. After the class is loaded into the JVM, then only object can be created.
Hmm.
And whenever the class is loaded, immediately which variable memory is created? Static variable.
Static variable.
That's answer. How many times the memory is allocated?
For which
Yeah.
For
variable?
static
sir?
variable?
One time.
One time.
One time.
One time. How many times memory is allocated for the instance variable?
Would depend
For
on
every
the
object. Tell me here how many
Depends on
objects are
number of
created?
objects.
Two.
Two objects. Tell me how many times X got the memory?
Two times.
Two times.
Two
For the
times.
first object and for the second object. But
Second
what about the static variable?
One time.
Only
One time.
once. Only one time. Did you got the differences now?
Yes.
I will write the
Yes,
points.
sir.
Cool, cool. So first of all, the point I want right here. Okay, let's choose different color. Yeah. I want write the point here, guys. Yeah. In a constructor, we can initialize the, yes, we can initialize the static variables and also the instance variables. And also the instance variables. Am I clear or not? Variables. I'll write example immediately. Example, class A, index Static into y. Please try to get the concept. Okay, static into y. Then I am writing what? Constructor. How do you write the constructor? Class name and constructor name both must be the same. Both must be the same. Here what I will write, x is equal to, okay, I can write normally. If you want, I'll write, okay, of parameter int x, okay. This dot x is equal to x. But y is a static variable, na? Y is equal to 50. Some number will assign what is there in that. For example, you can see here x is a instance variable, y is a static variable. This is the constructor. I will write here. I'll write in different color to highlight that. Could you tell me first of all, this is which variable? Instance variable. This is which variable? Static variable. This is static variable. Very good. Tell me, this is what? Constructor. This is constructor. Could you tell me this is what? What we are doing here? Initializing which variable? Initializing instance variable.
Instance variable.
Okay, I will write clearly. Don't worry. I'll just make it here. Okay, initializing which variable there? Instance variable. Tell me here. Here, what are we doing? Initializing static variable. Very good. Initializing static variable. Is everyone, did you get the concept right, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Very good. Very good. Now I will write the point next. Initializing instance variable. Initializing static variable. Tell me. If we initialize the static variable, what happens if initialize a static variable? If initialize a static variable in a constructor, what happens now? If initialize a static variable in a constructor, then for every object, okay, object creation means, okay, for every object, the static variable will be reinitialized again and again.
Value will be changed.
Reinitialized, yes, will be reinitialized with the same value or same data. Okay, the same value again and again. Did you understand my point?
Yes.
Folks, everyone? If we initialize the static variable in a constructor, then for every object, the static variable will be reinitialized with the same value again and again.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Cool. Yes. Then what is the solution? What is the
Static
solution?
For a static block.
That's why Java
We
has
need
provided which block?
method.
A static block.
Static block.
Static block. That's why Java has provided static block.
Static
Static block to initialize the
A static.
initialize the
A static value. A static
to
value.
initialize the static variables for once. For how many times?
One time.
Once. Because how many times a static block is executed?
One time.
One time only. When?
When we call the class.
No. When the class is loaded into the JVM.
JVM.
When the memory is allocated for static variable.
When we loaded the
When the class is loaded into the
JVM.
JVM. Tell me, when the class is loaded into the JVM, First memory is allocated for the static variable.
Static.
After that, static block will be executed. Both things will happen side by side immediately.
Yes.
Did you get my point? Online folks, am I clear with you?
Yes, sir.
Whenever the class is loaded into the JVM, first memory is allocated for the
Static variable.
static variable. Immediately,
Yes.
static block will be executed. Right. Okay. Understand here. Everybody. So that's why Java has provided static block to initialize the static variables for once. Static block is executed for only once. For only once when the class is
Load the JVM.
loaded. When the class is loaded into the
JVM.
JVM. When the class is loaded into JVM. Did you understand this point, guys? Now let me write the class A example. Everybody, look at this example, guys. Let me write example. Let me write example. Same class A. Sorry, class A. Please try to understand class A. Guys, tell me how many variables I'm taking. 2 variables now. Int x. Next, static into y. Okay, na? X is a instance variable. Y is a static variable. Class A is a constructor. Understand here. What I will do is before writing the constructor, okay, because I want to introduce static block now. Start static block. See, observe here, guys. Static. Start the curly brace. This is called the way of writing static block. Everybody, y is equal to 50. Then I'm writing class A of int x. This dot x is equal to x. Tell me, let us write the, guys, let us write the comments. Tell me first of all, x is which variable?
Instance.
Y is a
Static.
This is clear, na?
Yes, sir.
This is a very elementary concept. Everybody knows about this. X is a instance variable. Y is a static variable. But what about this static and curly brace?
Static block.
This is called a new thing you learned. What is that? Static block.
Static block.
I will write comment there. Static block. This is static block. What about this one?
Instance. Constructor.
This one. Constructor. How can you identify whether it is a constructor or not a constructor? Class name and constructor name both must be same. It is very easy. Dead easy. Did you get my point?
Yes.
Yes. Tell me, in the static block, what I am initializing?
One time.
Y. Y is a static variable. How many times this block is executed?
One time.
Only once. Tell me how many times this y variable will be initialized?
One time.
One time.
Once.
What about x?
X is instance.
It is instance variable. It is initialized for every object. Because constructor is executed for every object. But static block will be executed for only once.
One time.
Whenever the class is loaded into JVM. Am I clear with you? What is the purpose of static block?
Only one time will be executed.
Okay, what is the purpose? Purpose of static block? To initialize the static variables for only once. One time. For only one time. Very good. How many times static block will be executed?
One time.
Only once. I have written already. Is executed for only once. For only once. Whenever the class is loaded into the JVM. So far, am I good with you?
Yeah.
Guys,
Yes,
so
sir.
far, am I good with you, all of you folks? Did you understand
Yes,
about the
sir.
concept so far? Okay, now again come to the point. Now again come to the point. Please try to understand. In a class, this is class, na? How many static blocks I have written here?
One.
One. But actually we can write multiple also.
Yeah.
Static block 1, static block 2, static block 3, static block 4. Suppose I have 25 static variables, or let's say 30 static variables. How many? 30 static variables. Initializing the 30 static variables in one single block is looking complex.
Yeah.
What can I do? I can write 2 static blocks. In one block, let's say I will initialize 15 variables. In the second block, next 15 variables. I can divide. Or in the first block, 20 variables. In the second block, 10 variables. 20 plus 10, 30. I can divide. It's my choice. Means I can write one block only or multiple blocks also. Multiple static blocks also. It's my wish. Okay. If you write multiple blocks, which block will be executed first? First block.
First block.
Order. First block. You are writing 2 blocks. First block followed by second block. Execution also first block, then second block. Am I clear? Tell me how many static blocks we can write in a class?
Multiple.
Multiple. We can write multiple. Better like I'll give like a question and answer. Question. Tell me how many static blocks can be created in a class? What's the answer?
Multiple.
Answer?
Depend on the requirement.
Okay. Multiple also. 0 or multiple. 0 or multiple static blocks. Because till yesterday's programs, we don't know about static block. But we written programs and we have executed, we got the outputs also, na? Means tell me static block is compulsory in a class? No. How many static blocks we can write?
0 or more.
0 or multiple also. Okay. If you write multiple blocks, if you write multiple static blocks, then they are executed. Then they are executed in the same order. Then they are executed in the same order. What do you mean by same order? First
block.
static block, first executed. Second block, second executed. Third block, third executed. In the same order. They are executed in the same order in the class. That's a better statement. Same order in the class. So far, am I good with you? Oh.
Yes.
Okay. So, question. We are writing some important questions. What is the difference between instance variable and static variable? Could you tell me the answer?
Static variables, it means
what
only
is the
one
difference
time.
between instance variable and static variable? Can you tell me the answer?
Static variable, it means only one time will be declare the
memory. First talk about memory. Tell me, instance variable. Okay, instance variable will get the memory
when we created, when we call the object.
For every object.
Every object.
For every object. Am I right or not? Static variable will get the memory for only once. Difference number 1. Difference number 2. Difference number 2. Instance variable memory is allocated
for object creation time.
When the object is created. Static variable memory is allocated.
Load the JVM.
When the class is loaded into the JVM only. When the class is loaded into the JVM only means what? Before creating the objects. Before creating the objects. Did you get the 2 differences now?
Yes.
Third difference.
Yes.
Third difference is static variable only one
Third
time will
difference.
be initialized.
Sorry.
Static variable only one time will be initialized.
No. I mean, that's okay. We can write in static block. Any other difference? Instance variable can be called with only object name. We discuss a C1.y, C2.x.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Very good.
Static variable
Instance,
can be called with
instance variable
class
can
name
be
as well
called
as
with only object name. Static
Object
variable can be
name.
called with
Object.
class
Through
name and
class name,
object name
Object
also.
name.
With a class name and with object name also. We got,
Yes.
even today also I told the first point like that only.
Yes,
We're
sir.
clear with you?
Yes.
Yes,
So
sir.
these are the differences between what and what?
Instance variable and
Instance variable and static variable. And one more. For instance variable, the value will be different for every object. Okay. Value will be different for every object. But static variable value is common for all objects.
objects.
Because one time only memory allocated. Na? All objects are sharing the same variable, right? Now finally, did you got the
Yes.
4 differences now? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. I have a question. I will wait for 2 minutes. Could you write the differences in your notes or rough paper? Difference between instance variable and static variable. Please try writing them.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
In your own words. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in your own words. I am not writing answer. Simply I am writing to do. To do means you have to do. Just recollect whatever the differences I told and please make them okay. Now online folks and everybody offline folks also. Please look at this. What's the first question I asked you? Write what is the difference between instance variable and static variable. I am not writing answer because I have explained 4 differences. You write 4 differences. Just I am writing to do. To do means you have to do. Next one. What is the difference between a constructor and a static block? This also to do. To do means you have to write the differences. For these 2 questions, you answer yourself. Okay? Everybody? Online folks, that's for the session for today. And we'll continue the session on tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow we will start writing example first. We'll discuss about example and static block, static variable. We'll create one small example. Once example is completed, then we will start working with the nested classes, or which is called inner classes. If inner classes also completes, then we'll start with the inheritance. Am I clear with you?
Yes, sir.